You know already, guys, who is the best, guys. It's my time. I take over as UFC, man.
All the cards were laid on the table, and now the world has a new middleweight champion. But what we saw inside the cage didn't quite meet the expectations of most fans. The ruthless old version of Khamzat, the one who used to charge forward with pure destruction from the very first second, was nowhere to be found. So, does this mean the Chechen Wolf is finished? Will we never see the same Khamzat again? My friends, we need to talk about Khamzat Chimaev.
I don't think that you lost respect for Chimaev. Because I feel it too. And I didn't lose any respect for Chimaev. That's a dangerous old boy right there. And he's going to come after you.
You think this is the fight of the year?
Yeah, this is a big fight.
Okay, now you're getting sad, guys. Come on. Everybody has their motivations.
Hey,
Everybody
Africa
does
never gonna see the belt again. Sorry, guys.
Everyone expected a spectacular finish, something flashy, something on par with Whittaker-level highlights. Instead, we witnessed 5 full rounds of one-sided dominance without even the slightest hint of an early stoppage. Does this mean his career is declining? Absolutely not. Anticipating the criticism, I noticed one fascinating detail, something even a former UFC champion pointed out.
And he's got a very unique skill set. And by the way, it's very similar to the skill set that Khabib had. And it's very similar to the skill set that Islam currently has. So we know it works, is my point.
Right now, we're looking at the best version of Khamzat Chimaev. The current Khamzat embodies the pure essence of an aggressive fighting style. He doesn't step into the cage just to win. He steps in to dominate, humiliate, and break his opponents. And this style, it's perfect for the middleweight division, a weight class filled with elite fighters of every possible background and technical mastery. So, let's break it down and understand why Khamzat's first title fight was not a failure, but rather a chilling demonstration of a whole new level.
So, as a jiu-jitsu coach, if I could choose a way for my athletes to win, I will always choose a submission because it's my area, it's my specialty. But the main thing for us is always to bring home the victory. It doesn't matter how. No decision, split decision, TKO, KO, submission. At the end of the day, that's the mission that we are looking for. We are working hard, and we're gonna do whatever it takes to accomplish.
What exactly did we see inside the octagon? A complete and systematic dismantling of Dricus du Plessis. Khamzat dragged the former champion straight into the deep waters of Chechen wrestling, forcing him face to face with his greatest weakness. After just one round, du Plessis looked exhausted and nothing like himself, while Khamzat was smiling, almost savoring the destruction yet to come. We didn't get a knockout or a submission, but what we witnessed was an unprecedented domination of a reigning champion, a man who had entered the fight riding on an incredible 9-fight winning streak in the UFC.
Well, I'm going to try and stop every single takedown attempt, I can promise you that. If I get taken down the first minute, I don't care, I'll get back up.
Dricus, once the true king of the division, had torn through the very best of his generation. But against the Chechen Wolf, he looked utterly powerless. The much bigger African fighter was tossed around like a rag doll whenever Chimaev decided to take the fight to the ground.
He's very strong and powerful, I think people first time they train with it, they get surprised because he's very athletic and slim built, so you wouldn't think that he's the most strong guy, but he's very, very wrestling strong.
What we're dealing with here is a world-class wrestler, a man who effortlessly drags opponents to the canvas and smothers them with crushing ground and pound. In many ways, Chimaev mirrors Khabib. His balance is flawless, his positional control is unmatched, and his strikes from the top are nothing short of devastating. His takedowns are lightning fast, razor sharp, and nearly impossible to defend. And once the fight hits the mat, Khamzat capitalizes on every moment, sees every mistake, and punishes every reaction. That's what makes him so relentlessly dominant. In fact, Chimaev became the first fighter in UFC history to rack up an average of 21 minutes of control in a 5-round fight. Let that sink in. 21 minutes of suffocating dominance. Unreal. Credit where it's due, Dricus survived. Even though he spent most of the fight in pure survival mode, he somehow endured until the final bell. But let's be honest, this wasn't what we expected from a reigning champion. Does this mean Dricus is that bad? Not at all. This fight was a direct showcase of just how good Khamzat Chimaev really is.
I think he's ready. I'm ready, bro. Just go in. Fair works, bro. They're gonna go all. I come to take over, man. Take his head and go.
Khamzat is truly a phenomenon. For years, we've watched his evolution from a raw, awkward wrestler with elite fundamentals into a polished and terrifying champion. Chimaev has never stopped improving, and his career trajectory proves it.
All the fights that I've had, you've had guys that'll be like, yeah, I'm going to turn around. I want to turn around fast, and let me see how I feel tomorrow. Let me talk to my team. Let me do this. Let me do that. This guy's like, I want to fight again here on Fight Island. I was like, really? So you want to fight again while we're here? And he's like, yeah. So I turned him around. I called everybody and said, I'm going to do it. We're going to turn this kid around.
Maybe because I want to fight. Yeah, I want to fight more than anyone. So I've seen a lot of fighters before the fights. Someone is crying, someone is like scared, and they have different emotion. But for me, it's like I said before, it's the normal thing. All my life, I does that. So train hard and fight hard. For me, it's normal. I'm happy to be there and fight.
He bulldozed through the UFC roster with almost no resistance. Many believed he was destined to claim the welterweight title long ago, but his first real test came against Gilbert Burns.
I've seen them all. I've seen the good ones, and this kid has it.
He is a wrecking ball.
I mean, this is domination. It really is.
This kid is special. He's different than any fighter I've ever seen.
You know, when you talk about world class, you talk about Gilbert Burns, he's world class everywhere.
I respect his skills. He's like one of the best guys, but on my level. King is coming for you guys.
There is not a spot in the octagon that Gilbert Burns can't compete with everybody in the division.
He started out as a 4-time world jiu-jitsu champion, but along the way, he's become one of the scariest strikers in the 170-pound division.
Khamzat Chimaev, minus 525, the betting favorite at close against Gilbert Burns. Burns maintaining his composure, and for the record...
Kick there by Chimaev.
Oh, wow! Straight right hand drops Burns. Oh, big ground strikes now from Chimaev. That got Chimaev's attention.
He caught him in the middle of the kick.
We're getting a round two.
Wow. That's a fight.
All right, round two here. Henry Hoof calling for some body work out of his pupil, Gilbert Burns.
Yeah, because it's a power shot.
Oh, right hand counter from Burns.
He got stung. Gilbert tagged him. Gilbert's got to be careful. There's a lot of time left in this round.
Yeah, and we got to remember, we still got 2 title fights after this. Shout out to JC Santana Institute of Human Performance.
Oh, he almost tagged him with that second one.
Pretty good counter right from Gilbert.
This is the craziest fight that I have ever called. 100%.
Burns still throwing fire, blood in that right eye causing issues.
Oh, Khamzat tagged him.
What a fight! Khamzat Chimaev and Gilbert Burns go the full 15, and a nice display of sportsmanship. Their lives are linked forever now.
Burns forced Khamzat into the toughest war of his career. But there's more to the story. Chimaev was completely drained from the weight cut and never fully recovered during rehydration. That exhaustion had a massive impact on his performance that night. This is not to take anything away from Gilbert Burns. He deserves full credit. After all, he exposed every weakness, every gap in Chimaev's game. And those lessons, the Chechen Wolf took them, sharpened them, and turned them into weapons that would later make him unstoppable.
It's very good to be on his team, and to help him as much as possible, and to learn something new from him, because he's such a high-level fighter, and his striking is good, wrestling is good. I watch his sparrings and to get some techniques from him, and to my future fights.
Khamzat was slowly evolving into the perfect version of a fighter, one who thrives on exploiting every weakness his opponent has. In this style of fighting, the advantages are endless. Burns can simply lean on his raw power and superior technique, or he can play out a calculated chess match inside the octagon. Once Chimaev cemented his place at the top, he was faced with the most difficult stylistic challenge of his career.
For a long time, and everyone's saying, this is the boogeyman, this is the boogeyman. I'm like, wait, do you guys realize I'm still fucking here? I'm the boogeyman. I've always been the boogeyman. Always, and I still am the boogeyman.
What followed was a masterpiece, a technical battle that looked more like a chess game than a fist fight. And when Khamzat emerged victorious, it was the signal the entire division had been waiting for.
On a swinging. Oh, big left hand off. Tremendous fight. Khamzat Chimaev and Kamaru Usman go the distance here in front of an appreciative crowd in Abu Dhabi. Khamzat
Chimaev was now the biggest threat to the champion, but with the title shot queue already stacked, the UFC fed him Robert Whittaker instead.
When the UFC comes calling and they offer someone like a Khamzat Chimaev, very few people are saying yes to that.
Herzog handles the co-main event. Khamzat Chimaev minus 225. Robert Whittaker comes back at plus 185. Red corner tonight is 11-0. We'll see if Khamzat Chimaev can buck that trend. He is in white. The former champ Robert Whittaker is in black.
I asked Chimaev, I said, did you learn in the Usman fight that you cannot just press these guys so early because they're championship level fighters? He goes, no, brother, I'm going to get this dude.
Early shot from Chimaev and a sprawl from Whittaker.
He just shoots, like, he takes real shots.
He's got to be careful not to get flattened out. Whittaker was submitted one time pre-UFC at welterweight 13 years ago back in 2011. Never at 85. Chimaev taking his time, maybe trying to get an elbow home right on the ear he lands.
And that night, Khamzat showed the massive gap in levels. You simply can't call yourself a true threat to the throne unless you're complete in every aspect of MMA. And yet, even being a great wrestler is not enough to compete with Chimaev.
Because this was like Chimaev got the blade of his forearm across the jaw, and it was like just crushing those teeth, and it goes into his mouth. You saw the photo?
Yeah.
What it looked like?
The cherry on top of his career, however, came with the showdown against Dricus du Plessis. Despite all the criticism, all the doubt, people needed to understand one thing. This man is special. Many believe that if Chimaev couldn't finish the fight early, he would inevitably fall apart.
We've seen Dricus in the 5th round and the 4th round. We've seen what he's like when he gets tired, and we know that he's still hunting the finish, just like he did against Israel Adesanya. So the man's always trying to finish the fight, even in the later rounds. I think that Khamzat, when he gets a little bit tired, he starts to coast a little bit, okay?
But there lies the biggest mistake every single opponent makes. The top names in the division already know what awaits them when the cage door closes. They know their helplessness on the ground. They know they'll be dragged into the depths. They spend countless hours in training camps preparing for those takedowns, and still, not a single one of them has been able to stop him.
He's a human like everyone else, so I knew I cannot take the guy down, control. I was surprised he didn't get to his neck, so like Usman, I think he did that good job in the camp.
And so, what do we have in the end? Khamzat Chimaev is the new world champion, and something tells me his reign will be both long and dominant. Do you see anyone in the division who can truly compete with him? Personally, I don't. Khamzat will keep improving, sharpening his skills, and bringing the best version of himself into every fight. The only thing that might stop him is old injuries and health issues. But for now, we can expect at least a few more fights from the Chechen Wolf, a man whose hunger for the hunt will never be satisfied. What do you think? Can anyone stop him? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you later.